Hello, it's Mrs. Pound, and I'm back with the final video for this chapter about rocks, and that's section 1.3.4, the rock cycle. So this pretty much just sums up the chapter because we've talked about each kind of rock, we've talked about how it's formed, but now we're going to put it all together. The objectives for this section are to demonstrate an understanding of the process that forms the basic substances involved in the rock cycle, to label a diagram of the rock cycle, and use the rock cycle to explain how rocks are classified. So the rock cycle is the process by which one rock type changes into another. So each rock type can be changed into any of the other rock types. It is how each classification of rock is produced. We're going to see as we go through the rock cycle that basically the definition for how that type of rock is in the processes of the rock cycle, because each rock is defined by or classified by how it is formed, and that's what's in the rock cycle, how each is formed. And one of the most basic substances in the rock cycle include sediments. And we'll take a look at that. So to do that, we're going to refer to the rock cycle and Earth's crust diagram on page 6 of your Earth Science reference tables, and I'm just going to walk you through a bunch of the steps and trace through the steps of the rock cycle and talk about it as I trace through those steps. So go ahead and get that out, and I'm going to switch my camera. So here we are on page 6 of your Earth Science reference tables, and you can see we have the rock cycle and Earth's crust right here at the top, and this is at the top left of the page. We have one of the most basic substances right here, the sediments that we were talking about. And let's just take a look. Let's trace this through on how one rock type can change to another. Let's start with the igneous rock, since that's what we first started with in our studies. So igneous rock through weathering and erosion can become sediments, which then through deposition and burial and compaction or cementation become sedimentary rocks. So we can see that happening. Igneous rock can also under heat and or pressure undergo metamorphism. So we even see some of these definitions right here for each type. We had talked about compaction and cementation, heat and pressure for the metamorphic rocks. So a sedimentary rock can, through weathering and erosion, become sediments and then become another kind of sedimentary rock, or become sedimentary rock again. So these can cycle through to become themselves as well. Sedimentary rock can also undergo heat and or pressure metamorphism to become metamorphic rock. Okay. It can melt, become magma, solidify, and become igneous rock. So it can become either metamorphic or igneous, as in an igneous can either become sedimentary or metamorphic. Metamorphic rock can melt, become magma, solidify, and become igneous rock. It can actually undergo more heat and or pressure, metamorphize, and become a different type of metamorphic rock. It can undergo weathering and erosion and become sediments and then become sedimentary rock. So this just shows all of the pathways by which these can become each type of rock. And as you can see, even igneous rock can remelt, become magma, and become igneous rock again. So those are all of the pathways, and each type is just one of those cycles of nature that God set up to recycle the matter on Earth. Okay, so we have covered today these objectives. We have demonstrated an understanding of the process that forms the basic substances involved in the rock cycle. You're going to, in class, label a diagram of the rock cycle, and we now know how to use the rock cycle to explain how rocks are classified. So now you're all set for the test. You have everything you need to start studying. Don't wait for the Quizlet and all of that. Start using your notes now and don't forget your 5 questions.